So with regards to the tools that are being driven to improve customer service, we specifically broke this down into understanding, and in the report you'll see the full set of data, but we specifically broke the questioning down to understand what the tools are that are being used to drive operational efficiencies that are already in place, and what tools would be seen that are being used that can drive customer service and improve those customer satisfaction levels. With regards to those, the tools being used to drive customer service, there was a wide array of solutions that were being implemented across the board. The most prevalent of those were integrated CRM, used by almost half of companies, so starting to edge towards that 360 view, being able to pull those data points into one place. Engineer access to parts was something that came up quite a lot, 42% of companies. So being able to make that on-site experience just that much more seamless, just to take some of that friction out. Really saw a growth in customer portals, because I've been looking at this kind of data for quite a long time now, and that's something I've seen increasing anyway, but again, as I've touched on before, really accelerated through the last 18 months. And so customer portals for appointment booking are now in place for 40% of companies. A similar number, now this is very new, similar number of companies were now using AR or video to be able to deliver remote service calls. And what I'm seeing evolve as we've kind of gone past the necessity stage of zero touch service, I'm now seeing that these kind of technologies that were implemented during the pandemic are there as that first layer of triage, or even for self-help, just for the engineer to get, the customer to get back up and running quicker. And that is a huge part in this customer satisfaction play. From the operational side of the conversation, we saw what a lot, I think a lot we would expect. It seems that there's a very clear foundation of technology in place now. Over 3/4 of companies, 78%, have mobile applications. Nearly 2/3, 60%, have a dedicated FSM solution. And again, similar numbers have scheduling systems in place. And the scheduling system, again, perfect example of something that will drive customer efficiency, operational efficiency, reduce costs out of the business, and also, of course, mean no missed appointments, which drives customer satisfaction levels. Going back to that 360-degree view of the customer, this is where the opinion was split, and this is something that I really am very keen to get each of your thoughts on. We wanted to know whether there was a preference for that platform. Obviously, integration is that much easier to see the data flowing if we're on that one platform. However, we're moving more and more into a world of APIs, where things should just fit together. And so we asked, is the platform or just a best of breed technology stack better fit for purpose in terms of establishing that 360 split? 60% of the respondents felt the platform was better, so a slight weighting in that case, but not as prominent as I perhaps would have anticipated before the study. So let me just kind of, again, I'll put the data on the screen. Tools most widely used, we can see these are the ones that can drive customer service. We've got this integrated CRM, 45%, engineer access to part ordering, 42%, knowledge base for customer self-help, 40%. Again, really starting to see that self-help drive coming in. Remote service offerings for video, 40%, and for AR, 38%. That is a massive change. Customer portal appointment bookings, again, nearly 40%. So these are all designed specifically, these are all elements that our respondents have said can help them drive customer improvements. We saw 43% of the companies stated that they felt they were in a leading group within their sector in terms of technology. So there's a huge confidence amongst service organisations that they are leveraging the technology as best as they can. We also saw 60% of companies believe that the platform, as I said, is better suited to providing that 360-degree customer view. So there is a lean in there, definitely. Finally, the top tools used by field service companies within those day-to-day operations, just so you've got the slide there so people can take this data in. Mobile applications, we've gone mobile. That's no doubt. It's 78% of companies now have some mobile applications. Same with scheduling, 68%. We didn't dive into what kind of scheduling. Obviously, there is further conversations there, but for this purpose, we wanted just the broad understanding of the tools being used. Same as dedicated FSM, 59%, and real-time analytics, something again that has crept up since the last time I did one of these studies at 49%. So a lot of data there, guys. I know that you guys have had a bit of a previous access to the report, but equally, it's a lot of numbers. So we'll leave those on the screen for everyone watching. But I want to kind of try and break these down to some meaning, and to try and understand the trends. Like I said, the purpose of these debriefs is to go beyond that data and understand what it actually means. I thought it was really interesting to see the prevalence of so many systems and tools being used within the field service operations. It was, as I saw the raw numbers, it stood out because it was just a block of everything being used very consistently. It felt to me that that foundation is starting to come to place in terms of what we've been talking about for a long time. Danny, I suppose the question I'll open off with: do you think this is an indication of how the industry's reached a point of technological maturity to a degree? Do you think that the key technologies now being implemented are a bit more focused on these customer service elements? Again, echoing what we were touching on a little bit earlier, we've got that technological maturity. Earlier we were talking about the process and the thinking around this, but I think from the raft of stats I've just railed off, it seems that we've hit a fairly, on that maturation curve, we've come quite a long way in the last few years, and that's changed the focus. I'd just like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, let me just change track slightly. A car in the 80s, was that mature?
Yeah,
it probably was, because it worked quite well.
Yeah,
but does it compare to our cars today? I don't think. I think they're quite different, and that's because new technologies come in. So yes, you have FSMS, SMS that have been around for a while, and so on. But now you've got things like, mobile phones used to be new, right? And then at the beginning you had a mobile phone, and I can use it and type the number in. Today they're fully integrated, so you can phone the engineer from the handset from the customer's record, right? So the engineer can phone the customer, right? And that's a sort of evolution I think we're seeing now, that you get auxiliary technologies coming in, and as they mature, they become from being a nice added extra to being kind of standard equipment, right? So when we look at knowledge bases, for instance, or when we look at AR, that's what's happening. So yes, I can see people using even WhatsApp as a video, to see what the issues at the customer site. But in a very short time, I think we see that becoming fully integrated in systems and the records stored the same way as I said with the mobile phone. Right? I think so. So yes, we have good systems and they're mature, but it's a movable feast. And if I may, what I think we are seeing here is actually, as you said before, an acceleration of trends that would have happened anyway that get accelerated by the pandemic, right? So the reason we want to have integrated part ordering is because it's actually quite difficult to run a call center that would normally do that, or a service admin function when people can't come to the office, when they can't look things up as easily. And therefore, that, to make the engineer do that, or enable the engineer to do that, helps. But I think that would have happened anyway, because if you can take the call center out of this loop, then it's much quicker, and of course it reduces costs. So in that sense, I think these trends would have happened anyway.
Yeah.